Once again, very welcome everyone. Thank you for coming and arriving all across from Germany or even far away more than Germany. I'm really happy to see you here. And yeah, let's get started. So our first speaker of today, it's Nils Lindholm. It's our solutions architect from the Stuttgart team. And he will be introducing you to the topic of relational migrator. As we know, moving and mapping sometimes the data and modeling from the traditional relational databases can be difficult. But thanks to our new tool, Relational Migrator, these things comes easy and much easier than you can expect. Yeah, not much of my talk. Let me introduce Nils Lindholm, and he will give you a quick overview on our tool.
So hello again also from my side. I hope everyone can hear me within their headphones. And before we start, I want to see all of you scanning the QR code on this slide. So we want your feedback to all of our sessions. So please, after the session, fill out the survey. And in case you don't scan it right now, don't worry, I will remember you after we talk again. So, so please provide the feedback. It's really important for us. First thing, if we talk about Relational Migrator. So I'm very honored to speak to such a big audience, and everyone please take a hand up if you are here because you're interested in migrating data from a relational database to MongoDB. Great. And who here is maybe asking, why should I do that? Maybe again? Okay, couple less. And maybe some people are asking themselves, how do I do it? Great. And now we just talk about why it makes sense to migrate from a relational database to MongoDB. So there are different reasons why you should be migrating. And I think the first reason is you have a very slow development speed. Like you have a very old traditional database with a very old tech stack, and you are just thinking, okay, I'm too slow. Like my competitors are much faster in developing. They are bringing microservices out much faster. I maybe have a very big old monolithic application and database where I just have so much dependencies between my code and my database that I'm just too slow for the fast-changing market. The other thing, of course, could be you have a solution, a database that is maybe very fragile. You have a lot of downtimes, which, of course, results in a reputation loss for your company. You're thinking about, okay, how can I improve the quality of my database service? Another reason, of course, that comes out of these two things, you have a lot of missed opportunities, maybe because the speed is not fast enough. You have like very much downtime, couple downtimes. It can mean that you miss opportunities on the market, like from business perspective, but you also miss the opportunities to use the newest tech stack, like to do 2-week sprints, to do everything as soon as possible, deliver the products you want very fast. And the other thing, of course, which is always an aspect, is costs. So this is not only true for like relational databases, can be any other database. You think this database is too costly for what I want to have for my application. The cost model is maybe not right. The licensing does not suit your application best. And you think, OK, I want to be more cost effective, which is, I think, quite important at the time where we are in at the moment globally. And all of these things come together with not only why should I migrate, but what do I get out of migrating? And I think you already know this slide from Zahir. He already showed us. But to do a migration from a legacy database to MongoDB can lead up to 3 to 5 times faster development speed. And this is, of course, because of the document model and the flexibility our database offers with it for you as developers to develop much faster. And the other thing is, because of this and because of that you don't have this high overload that you have to take within your development process, you can save up to 70% of cost. And we see this like in a lot of customers. And I have worked with relational databases, with MongoDB in the past, and I can say working with MongoDB was always easier, more natural, and much faster for me to bring things in productive because I don't have to talk to anyone else please, I need a database schema. Does this destroy your specific service? And all of this kind of stuff. I think a lot of people can relate to that. And doing a migration. So like talking to our customers and also from our own experience, we separated the whole migration to process into 4 different kind of stages. And I think the first stage you always have is thinking about what should I migrate? Maybe you have a very old monolithic application. You cannot move all your business logic in one big bang into productive. Okay, technically you could, but I think no one really wants to do that. And so you have to identify what workload is the best for starting the migration, identifying what suits best for you. And I think the second one is also the schema definition. So there is of course a difference between a relational data model and the MongoDB document model. And Zahir already explained a bit what are the benefits of putting things in the document model, and we will see it as well later in this presentation. And generally, you have to define your MongoDB schema, and you have to take a different approach than you would do for a relational database schema, because you are not anymore restricted to design your database in a specific way, but you have a lot more flexibility. But with this flexibility also comes the responsibility to design your schema in the best way possible for your application. The third stage would be, of course, the most favorite stage of developers, modernizing the code. And modernizing the code is like you have to change something in your code, right? If you want to switch your database from a relational model to MongoDB. There are different ways how to do it, and it is like very use case specific and very customer specific what you have to change in your code, because every application is a bit different. We will talk, of course, a bit more about this also in a couple of minutes. And the last stage, of course, is migrating the data. So this is what actually the Relational Migrator is also about. So we will see that a lot of people are writing scripts to migrate data from a relational database to MongoDB. There are tools out there, like open source tools, that help you with such migrations. And this is also a task that you have to do, of course. And after that, you are finished, easy peasy. You did your migration. Sounds easy, right? Like this whole thing. What we are seeing is that some customers are hesitating, or they think it's kind of a hurdle for them to do the migration. And this can be because of several reasons, several objections or fears that you can have within these migration steps. And what can hold a migration back for you? So from our experience, what can hold a migration back is you have to build your knowledge. Maybe you have built up the knowledge for your already existing database for the last 10 years. So you have to learn something new. You have to build up the knowledge. It can take time, of course, to build the knowledge, to get to know the new database technology. And the other thing we see comes with that, of course, learning a new query language, maybe using a different kind of driver within your application. All of these things are a kind of, I would say, knowledge and learning path. And of course, you have to define the document schema. You have to get used, and you have to, I would say, you have to think more in the document model and not so much in the tabular model. And this also, from our experience, it can take some time to get used. How can I model my data with MongoDB? And this can actually also be a hurdle for some people. And of course, rewriting, changing the code. To change the code, we can say it can be, I would say, easier if you have an abstraction layer like Spring Boot GPA. It is, for example, easier than you would if you would have a whole written customized code with customized SQL queries. But this is very specific. And the next thing, of course, is writing the scripts to migrate the data. And of course, this can also take a bit of time to do, depending on your data volume, on the amount of tables you have, and on the complexity of your schema and what you have done on your database. And like the good news here is MongoDB can help with everything. Great, right? We can help you with all of these steps. And we can take away the objections you have. You can work together with us to overcome all of these situations within the migration process. Every one of us, of our MongoDB team, is here today for you to talk with you about all of these things. I will be here. My colleagues also. Just search for someone with the MongoDB collar, and let's talk about it. And let's explain to you how we can help, right? How we can do this. And let's start with building new knowledge. And when we first engage with customers, I see a lot of the people, they want to get knowledge, but they don't really know how. And there are several ways that we offer how you can build knowledge. And the first thing I want to highlight, in case you don't know it, is the MongoDB University. And University is a place where you can take free online courses, and there are several paths you can take. And these are actually structured lessons, like I would say, like webinars, or I would just like a kind of lesson that you take. And there you have a development path and an operations, like a DBA path that you can take. And these paths also lead up at the end when you finish like all of the different kind of university courses. They lead up to our MongoDB certification that you can take after these courses. And these courses are all for free. You can register today. You can take your courses. And I have to say, these courses are really great. Like I have done a lot of them. And they are courses like MongoDB for SQL pros. And it really goes into advanced detail how you can do complex queries with MongoDB. It's actually great to get new knowledge. And there are beginner courses, advanced courses, and it grows like every time I look into it, I see new courses. So it's actually a great place to look for getting knowledge. And another thing, of course, would be getting someone from MongoDB to help us. We can talk together. We can talk within your MongoDB account executive and with your solution architect, and we can give you a lot of insights. What we also offer is we offer instructor-led training, and this is actually offered by our professional services team, and they will come to you either remote, or we in our team, we say on-premise, like to your house or to your building. And they will do a training that also goes into much detail, and they can, I would say, customize it more for you. Like for you, IoT is a really important thing, or real-time capabilities is an important thing. You can talk to us. We can get a customized training that gives your people, that enables your people to get knowledge into the specific things you want to do, and it can be more customized, for example, for university courses. And the other thing is creating the document schema. And let's see how you can create a document schema on a very simple use case. So I have prepared a relational model of a customer database, and of course we have a customer table where we have our customer ID, first name, last name, we have the address information. We have an address table, streets table, cities table, contents, countries table, and we have put all this data into different tables, and every time we have to go from our application to our database, we have to do a join to get the customer object back and do something with it in our application. And how can such a thing look like in MongoDB? It's, of course, a very simple use case to do. First, we would start thinking about what we heard in the keynote. Data that is accessed together should be stored together. So we want to show our customer in our application all of the time, and we want to access only one document to get the information of our customer back. And the first thing we would do is, of course, take first name, last name, date of birth, and all of the basic information of a customer and just put it into the document. But we are not finished with that. We can also take the other tables. We can take the address, for example, and the address contains of multiple tables. And now this is where I would say the benefits of the document model comes into place, of course. We can now say, I want to have a nested array into our customer document, and a customer can have multiple addresses, right? It can have a private and I would say a business address, and of course it could have multiple private addresses. Everything is possible. So we put a nested array into this document and put all of the information into this array, and even put the street information into a nested document or a nested object into our array. In this case, we have put all the different tables into one single document. And this is, I would say, the process we are going to. You are thinking of, what does my application need? So you're thinking from a different perspective than before. And you are designing, and you have the freedom to decide how you design your document model. Of course, this is a very basic use case we have, and there are much complexer use cases, of course, like that. You have maybe thousands of tables, and you want to do really document schema for multiple collections. And here, actually great also to know we have our document schema best practices, and these are basically schema design patterns that we gathered within the MongoDB team around. So you think about, I'm doing IoT, and for IoT you maybe have different kind of schema design patterns that maybe suit your application better than others. And we have put a lot of blog posts into every single one of these schema design patterns. And feel free to use it. It's completely open. It's like a blog post published from MongoDB for you. And it will help you to get a bit of a start, to think about, OK, I have a specific use case. What kind of schema does fit my use case best? And we are, of course, also here to get into engagement, because this is a start. But I would say designing the best possible schema for you is a journey. And let's take this journey together, and let's see what is the best document model for you. And of course, now we are coming to rewriting and changing the code. And for rewriting and changing the code, it's often, I see that it is a kind of a time manner that our customers have. Do I have the time to change my code? Because I also have to deliver new features at the same time. So if you don't have the time to change your code, we are, of course, here to help you. We are here to give you best practices, to teach you what is best for your specific programming language. How can you start with your migration within your code? And how we can do it, there are actually also different packages we offer from our professional services team. There's one thing which is very new, and I think it's a very great thing that we offer right now, is solution delivery. So we work together with MongoDB partners that are specifically certified and I would say chosen from us. And these partners have MongoDB developers, and they can work together with you, either within your Scrum team, for example, and just work like as an external developer. But you can also say, I want to have this app fast, and I want also to be like as I would say to do as less as possible as I want, and then they can even do the whole solution delivery. Like they can do the development from beginning to go live. And this is a really nice service, and we have a really great experience with some of our customers for this in the latest months. And I would say it's a great thing that we offer this right now. And the other thing is we offer the possibility to get our MongoDB professional services consultants in-house or remote for you, and they can also train you or consult you how you are doing the migration. Like they can go into a lot of detail. And when I talk about our consulting colleagues, I always have a nice story, because I used them one time, and I had a calculation running. And this calculation, my goal was to have it to do this calculation finished in 15 minutes, because it was a lot of data. And when I started to doing my aggregation pipelines and all of this stuff, I came to 2 hours at the beginning. So shame on me, it was a bit not perfectly performance optimized. And then I actually took the MongoDB professional services expert when I was a MongoDB customer, and they, with the feedback and the improvements they gave to me, we came from 2 hours to 2 minutes. And this is actually a great example of what our colleagues are capable of. And now I think we came to the point of the relational migrator. I think this is also why most of you are here for. And what is the relational migrator? How it can help? Of course, it can help you with getting rid of the necessity to write your own scripts to migrate the data. It is a tool developed by us for you for migrating the data from a relational database to MongoDB. It's officially supported by us, not a third-party product, and you will get our support from our team and our professional services colleagues in doing the migration. So what can the relational migrator do for you? It can import and analyze your relational schemas also in a visual way, and we will see it later on the demo, how it looks like. It can do it at the moment from Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, or Postgres. it helps you to map your data to your MongoDB schema, like basically what we just did with the customer. You can do it visually within the Relational Migrator, test around, try out different things, and migrate the data. It's actually really great. And it helps you to do the transformation and the migration process where you otherwise would have to use other products or you have to write your customized scripts. And now let's come back to the stages of migration, where the Relational Migrator can help. Of course, it can help you with the migration. This is what I already talked about. But it can also help you with the schema definition, because you can play around. You can change up your schema visually, click migrate, have it on your MongoDB, try test the application, maybe change something again, migrate it again to your MongoDB and try it out. So you have a better way of doing the migration, and you don't have always to have customized scripts for every single migration job. And in the future, it will also help you with modernizing the code. This is what I will come back to when we have future capabilities. So let's jump into the demo, and let's see a very simple example of how you could migrate your relational database. So I prepared something for you. So let us see how it looks like. So the first thing we can do is we can go to connect to our database. Let's do that. We will do the Oracle database right now. In this specific case, we can, of course, choose SQL Server, MySQL, or Postgres. Let's put in all of our credentials, username, password, click connect, and then it will take a couple of seconds to load all your schemas from your relational database. And as you can see, you can now select either the whole database, specific schemas or users within your database, or you can either say, I only want specific tables to be migrated. Let's just click all. Let's go into next. And now we can say a project name for the Relational Migrator. And we can also say we want to have another casing, because relational databases often come with upper casing, but we want to use camel casing for our MongoDB collection. So let's just click that. There are also multiple other options available. Let's click OK. And now you can see that we have now a visually schema in the top of our relational database and in the bottom of MongoDB. And we will also see the tables on the left. The same, we see the MongoDB schema and the tables, the collections on the left here as well. And let's just say we have an orders table here. And we have also orders, and every order has order details. So every order has specific products, specific information for the order. How you would model it in a relational world, you would have, of course, an orders table, a products table, and an orders details table, of course. And let's just start with order details, because this is not the best way how you would do it on MongoDB. So let's just start with putting the order details information within the orders collection within MongoDB. And how this could look like, you can just go here, click into the orders collection, order details collection, and you can just delete it. You say the Relational Migrator, I don't need it anymore, and it vanishes on the MongoDB side, as you can see. But now we also have to add it. And now we can say we want to add it into our orders collection, but we actually want to have it as an array within our orders collection. So we will then have the orders, and the orders will have every order will have an array with all of the order details for this specific order. Let's just do that. Let's click on array on a parent project, parent documents, click on orders, and just say we want everything out of the order details, and just click save and close. And as you can see, we have now the order details embedded within our MongoDB schema. And let's just say, of course, we also want to do something else. We want to have the product information within the order details, because maybe you don't want to, if you want to visualize your orders, you also want to have the product description of a product ID to access it together with your order information. And now we can just say, again, add, and we will say fields and child documents. So we will actually add a field within our array elements. So every single order detail will have the products that are in the specific order detail. So every order position, I would say, also as the product description, product number, and this kind of information. Let's say products, but we don't want everything out of our product, right? We maybe only want to have specific information because we want to keep all of the other things in our master data collection. Let's just take what we want. And as you can see, it is now mapped again here on the relational migrator within the orders details. And now we are not like completely finished, right? We would have a lot more things to do, but because I only have 4 minutes and 25 seconds left, let us just do the migration right now. And let's do that by create a sync job. Let's just go put in our credentials again from our Oracle database, click connect, put in our connection string from our MongoDB database, click connect, and it will connect to the Oracle database again and to our MongoDB on Atlas. And now we have the possibility to either do continuous migration, which is a feature that will be added later on, or we can do like the one-time migration. And let's just click on one-time migration for now. And of course, we can also say, I don't want to export all rows. I want to limit the rows because I just want to do a test migration of some data within my database. And I could also say I want to drop existing collections on our MongoDB site that I want to overwrite. And let's click Start. It will now take maybe 10 seconds to be finished because we have a couple of data in there. And as you can see, the migration job now starts. You have a visually appealing way of looking at your migration job. You can see it's already running, and it will probably be finished very soon. And ta-da, it is finished, completed. It took a whole of 10 seconds. And now let's jump to our Leafy database again that you already know. And we have the products here already in our MongoDB collection, migrated. But I think it's not the important thing, but the important thing is the orders, because this is where we really changed something. And within the orders, you can see I got all the order information here, but I also got the embedded information about the order details, and I got actually the product information within this specific order detail. So what we already did, I would say we deleted the necessity of doing 3 joins to collect information for your orders and put all of this information into one single document. Like within the principles, data that should be accessed together, like one order, should also be stored together. And we have these, of course, for multiple products. And that's it for the demo. Let's jump also again to our future capabilities. So what will come next? Of course, come next, as I already told you, will be continuous replication. And we are also planning to add Kafka support into the continuous replication. So this is also actually a great feature. The other thing is what we want to implement is having application code generation. So it also helps you, or out of your code, it creates you a sample code how you can start with MongoDB. And this is actually really great. It can help you with getting a code to start with, like having all of the necessary information. And I'm already looking forward to this feature. Another thing, which of course, as I already told you, we have schema best practices. So of course, it would make sense that we take our knowledge and make schema recommendations directly into the relational migrator, analyzing your existing schema and telling you, okay, maybe you have an IoT use case here, maybe look at this relational schema, click, and then you already have it. Sounds great. I'm also looking forward to this feature. And of course, we want to have an Atlas integration directly, because at the moment you have to host the relational migrator somewhere on a machine, but we want to have it integrated also into Atlas. And the summary, of course, is the relational migrator helps you with migrating data from a relational database to MongoDB. And I would say, if you have any questions, if you have a specific project in mind, just talk to one of us, talk to me. I will be roaming around here. My colleagues will be here. Find someone from MongoDB. Let us get into touch for your specific migration project, and let us make it successful. I think this is everything I can say here. Thank you very much for your attendance.